taking you through state to our top story here. And just like that, freedom of speech now is back in the headlines. The usual suspect, Kunal Kamra. Kamra's parody song from his stand-up, Naya Bharat, as it's called, has now sent political tempers soaring in Maharashtra, particularly within the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena camp. This offensive song, which is a cheeky take on Dil To Pagal Hai, without naming names, Kamra refers to Shinde here as rickshawala and a traitor who stole someone's father. Well, not so subtle jab there at the dramatic 2022 Shiv Sena split. And what followed was sheer chaos. Shinde workers stormed into Mumbai's Habitat studio, vandalizing the venue there and even the hotel that housed that venue. And get this, Kamra wasn't even performing there. The show was recorded over a month ago on February 3rd. So it's much later that this outrage has come, but thanks to the vandalism, a video that only a few had seen is now getting nationwide attention. Now, before we get to the backlash, let's talk about who's backing him. Most of the opposition has jumped into this free speech bandwagon now, rallying behind Kunal Kamra. Leading the charge, of course, Uddhav Thackeray, who's asked a very pertinent question here. What did Kamra say that was untrue?
कुणाल कामरा ने मुझे नहीं लगता कुछ गलत कहा है। गद्दारों को गद्दार करना ये किसी पर हमला करने की बात नहीं है। जो गद्दार है वो गद्दार है। वो पूरा गाना आप सुन लो, चाहिए तो आपके पास होगा तो बजा कर दिखाओ। उसी गाने का जो अर्थ है वही तो है।
क्या ये जनहित का आंदोलन था? क्या ये देश हित का आंदोलन था? ये समाज हित का आंदोलन था? किसी एक व्यक्ति को मिर्ची लगी इसलिए तोड़फोड़ हुई है, लेकिन पीएम साहब ने भी कहा है कि हमारे देश में कॉन्सर्ट इकोनॉमी होनी चाहिए। कॉन्सर्ट्स हो गए। जो सीएम हमारे कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इन्वेस्टमेंट महाराष्ट्र में आए, टूरिज्म महाराष्ट्र में आए। अभी नागपुर के दंगे के बाद या कल मुंबई में जो घटना हुई है उसके बाद कोई आएगा मुंबई में या नागपुर में? मुझे तो नहीं लगता। तो ये कहीं ना कहीं सीएम को भी अंडरमाइन करने की कोशिश हो रही है।
अगर इस तरह से बोलने के ऊपर पाबंदी लग जाएगी तो आप लोगों का क्या होगा? ऐसे ही आप लोगों की हालत खराब है। पूरा रेस्ट्रिक्शन है आप लोगों के ऊपर। अभी आप लोगों को भी कहेंगे यही न्यूज बोलिए और कुछ मत बोलिए, जया बच्चन का इंटरव्यू मत लीजिए। वेयर इज फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच? देयर इज फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्शन ओनली जब मारामारी हो। ऑपोजिशन को मारो, महिलाओं का बलात्कार करो, उनको टांग दो, मर्डर खत्म कर दो, जी जान ले लो। आपकी जो पार्टी थी, रियल पार्टी, उसको छोड़ के आप लोग अपने सत्ता के उसमें दूसरी पार्टी में आ गए। वो अपमान नहीं हुआ? वो बाला साहब का अपमान नहीं है?
लाइन में बोल दिया महाराष्ट्र में कानून व्यवस्था नहीं रही है, वही उसी के परिणाम है। और महाराष्ट्र से अब लोग भयभीत होकर महाराष्ट्र छोड़ के जा रहे हैं। महाराष्ट्र के उद्योग खत्म होते जा रहे हैं। एक तरफ सरकार आह्वान करती कि महाराष्ट्र को शांत रखना चाहिए और खुद ही सरकार इस तरह की अगर बदमाशी पे आते किसी को तोड़फोड़ करना चाहते हैं तो इसका मतलब है कि महाराष्ट्र को पूरा खत्म करना ये सरकार चाहती है।
ये जो तोड़फोड़ कर रहे हैं, दिखा रहे हैं कहीं ना कहीं वो उनको चुभा है। उनको पता चला है कि जो बोल रहे हैं, जोक के माध्यम से बोल रहे हैं, उसमें सत्यता है, इसलिए जाकर इन लोगों ने इस तरीके की हमला किया है। जान माल का नुकसान करना ये कहां तक लाजमी है? ये लोग सरकार में हैं, ये लोग महाराष्ट्र की सरकार चला रहे हैं। ऐसे ही इन्होंने नागपुर में आग लगाई, अब मुंबई में आग लगाने पे लगे हुए हैं। तो किस तरीके का इंटॉलरेंस है? इफ यू डोंट लाइक समथिंग तो आप पुलिस कंप्लेन करिए, पर इस तरीके का बिहेवियर करेंगे। आई थिंक पीपल ऑफ मुंबई आर वॉचिंग और महाराष्ट्र देख रहा है कि किस तरीके से कानून व्यवस्था को अपने हाथ में लेकर ये गुंडाई पर उतर आए हैं।
All right, that's what the Maharashtra opposition had to say about this, but the government particularly isn't amused. Eknath Shinde's faction has given Kunal Kamra 48-hour ultimatum to apologize or face legal action. And right on cue, BMC officials showed up at Habitat for a demolition drive, citing illegal construction. Interestingly, Maharashtra Minister of State for Home, Yogesh Kadam, has announced a full-fledged probe into Kamra's call details. In fact, phone logs are now going to be checked. Even his bank accounts are going to be scrutinized. According to the Home Minister of Maharashtra, there could be a bigger conspiracy here, saying that there is a mastermind that's behind this entire act. They, in fact, call Kunal Kamra a contract comedian. Now, this video has gained traction. Shiv Sena workers fanned out across Mumbai, burning effigies, vandalizing that venue, of course, but also protesting in different parts. And they continue to warn Kunal Kamra. Let's hear it.
सर, मैं आपको यही बताना चाहूँगा कि जैसे कि मैं एक परिवार से आता हूँ जिस परिवार का नाम शिवसेना है। हमारे बड़े जिसको हम हमारा आदर्श स्तंभ मानते हैं, हमारे शिंदे साहब, हमारे उप मुख्यमंत्री महाराष्ट्र राज्य के, अगर उनके बारे में जिसने जो हमारी शिकवन रही है घर की, जो बाला साहेब की शिकवन रही है, क्या शिवसेना स्टाइल में ऐसे लोगों को जवाब देना ही चाहिए और हमने दिया है। ऐसी मानसिकता रखने वाले लोगों को आगे भी ऐसा ही शिक्षा मिलेगी। कुणाल कामरा को यही मैसेज देना चाहेंगे कि आज जो आपने ये काम किया है, आपको तो इसका सबक जरूर मिलेगा, लेकिन आपसे जिन लोगों ने ये काम करवाया है, ये एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी है और ये एक पेड कॉन्स्पिरेसी है। इसका भी खुलासा जरूर मुंबई पुलिस और कानून सक्षम है करने के लिए।
Right, so there you have it, those images there of the BMC officials who's landed up at the Habitat studio, and that hotel that houses that venue allegedly has some parts that's been illegally constructed. So BMC, right in time, of course, raising questions of the timing. Had they not noticed illegal construction earlier? Well, Kunal Kamra the controversy seemed to have led the BMC officials to their doorstep. So some parts are going to be demolished. Now, an FIR also names opposition leaders Sanjay Raut, Aditya Thackeray and Rahul Gandhi, claiming that there is a bigger political conspiracy here and they all could be behind the mastermind in making Kunal Kamra say these things. One thing's for sure, Kunal Kamra is not new to controversy. He's long been torn in the establishment side, from slamming Prime Minister Modi's handling of the COVID crisis, be it Ayodhya Ram Mandir funding he raised questions on. He basically also called out the judiciary and spoke about caste system, accusing a level of caste system within the judiciary itself. He got backlash for that, and also the infamous in-flight teardown with Arnab Goswami. So no surprise that his shows have now been banned across most NDA rule states. There's a thing here for sure, Kunal Kamra exactly knows what he's doing. This wasn't careless comedy, this was deliberate, it was bold and it was provocative. He was testing the limits of the political clan to see how tolerant they are. Maharashtra's reaction finally is exactly what you see there. In our images, post that event, a month later, they've come down to vandalize the entire venue. Well, democracy does grant freedom of speech, but in today's political climate, that freedom of speech comes with conditions. Let's hear it from those who are enraged.
जिस प्रकार से स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन कामरा इन्होंने एक गीत के माध्यम से महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री और विद्यमान उप मुख्यमंत्री श्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी को अपमानित करने का प्रयास किया है, ये गलत है। हम इसकी निंदा करते हैं। ऐसी चीज़ों को सहन नहीं किया जा सकता। कामरा को मालूम होना चाहिए कि 2024 के चुनाव में जनता ने निर्णय कर दिया है कौन गद्दार है कौन खुद्दार है।
कुणाल कामरा, आपको ना अभी महाराष्ट्र में नहीं हिंदुस्तान में भी घूमने नहीं देंगे। हमारे नाद में लगने की कोशिश मत करो। आप पैसा लेके उभाटा और संजय राउत के पास से पैसा लेके एकनाथ शिंदे साहब के ऊपर टीका टिप्पणी कर रहे हो ना। हम हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख माननीय बाला साहेब ठाकरे जी के शिवसैनिक है। आपके पीछे लगेंगे ना तो भारत छोड़ के आपको भागने लगेगा। इतना याद रखो।
महाराष्ट्र के सबसे लोकप्रिय मुख्यमंत्री और उप मुख्यमंत्री को आप गद्दार बोलते हैं और फिर कहते हैं कि ये कॉमेडी है। ये कॉमेडी नहीं है, ये वल्गैरिटी है। और कौन है ये कुणाल कामरा जिनको रेंट किया है एक पपेट के जैसे इस्तेमाल किया है उबाटा ने, और वहां अपने करतूत को डाइवर्जनरी टैक्टिक्स का इस्तेमाल करने के लिए, चीप पब्लिसिटी के लिए आप इस हद तक जा सकते हैं। शायद आपको पता नहीं कि एकनाथ शिंदे जी एक ऑटो रिक्शा ड्राइवर थे जो मुख्यमंत्री बने। ये एस्पिरेशनल है, ये कोई कॉमेडी नहीं। और अब जो आपकी हाल बनने जा रही है वो एक ट्रेजेडी है।
देखो, आपको लोकशाही में बातें करने का अधिकार है, करो, सकारात्मक टीका भी करो, कोई बात नहीं। इलेक्शन में होती है कि नहीं होती है, लेकिन तुमको खुद का पेट पालने के लिए किसके ऊपर अगर ऐसी टीका करेंगे, उसके ऊपर गाने बनाएंगे, हंसेंगे, तालियां बजाएंगे, तो ये हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
All right, let me shift our focus here to the Justice Varma cash haul. That's really shaken the country and raised a lot of questions on the integrity of our judiciary. Yashwant Varma's residence, there was a cash bundle, in fact, many of them, that was what was claimed to have been found in his home when the fire department reached there to douse a fire that was reported. This triggered huge storm within the judicial fraternity. Justice Varma has denied any link to that money. That's the images. In fact, there are claims that this video is also false. That's what Justice Varma says, that he's not even sure if this is exactly the video from his house. Now, this video is doing the rounds now. He calls these charges as completely baseless. Amid mounting pressure, we saw the Supreme Court Collegium, who got together, recommended that Justice Varma be transferred back to the Allahabad High Court. Earlier in the day, the Delhi High Court stripped him of all his judicial works. Allahabad High Court Bar Association, meanwhile, has demanded his impeachment altogether, warning that his continuation on the bench threatens democracy and erodes public trust. Now, let me take you through exactly some of the questions that are being asked. Within the legal fraternity, there seems to be a divide on whether these allegations against him are true, whether this man could be framed, what's really the many questions that are still unanswered. If I can take you through, number one, who exactly cleared the debris and on whose orders? Guard claims that it was removed on 15th of March morning, but officials say that debris later that evening only was taken out. So why was that taken and who did it? The next question that's being asked is, why wasn't that room sealed? If at all they found that kind of cash bag, why wasn't that room sealed altogether? It was left open and that jeopardized security further and key evidence. And questions being asked about why didn't the family see that cash? Whatever seizure happened, there was nobody in the family who saw it. Justice Varma, of course, himself was out of town. We hear his wife, nobody else in the house saw that pile of cash. So why wasn't the cash really shown to them is a question that Varma raises. Now, why is the secretary's report silent on money? The report we hear mentions there are burnt articles, but there's no mention on cash currency found. That's a major omission. Now, the question here that Justice Varma also asks is, who stores money in an outhouse? An obvious question. He says that why would I even store money in an outhouse that's open for staff, for gardeners, for people from the outside to have complete access to it? They come in and out of that room. Why would anyone store it in that outhouse? And finally, where's the video evidence? Like I showed you, multiple videos do exist, but have phones been seized to verify the authenticity of this? Justice Varma questioning this authenticity. And finally, why did police delay informing the Chief Justice about this incident? The fire happened at 11:30 p.m. on March 14th. The Chief Justice was informed only 17 hours later. Why the delay? Now, these gaps clearly raise many suspicion, a lot more that needs to come out. The inquiry panel now faces intense pressure to bring out the truth. All right, DK Shivkumar in the dock. One interview that literally led to a political storm in the parliament. Let me take you through what that controversy was. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar's comments on the possibility of constitutional changes to extend reservation benefits to Muslims has triggered a major row, with the BJP accusing the Congress of backdoor quota politics. The controversy stems from Shivkumar's interview on Karnataka Transparency in Public Procurement's Amendment Bill of 2025, which proposes 4% reservation for Muslim contractors in public works. When asked about the constitutional bar on religion-based reservation, this is what he responded in that interview. I'm going to take you through that quote. So DK Shivakumar said, and I quote, "I agree, let us wait and watch. Let's see what the courts have to say. Let's wait for a good day. A lot of changes are there and the constitution will be changing." Precisely what DK Shivakumar has said. The BJP was quick to seize the moment. They call this an admission of intent to alter the constitution for appeasement politics. JP Nadda, who's the leader of the House in the Rajya Sabha, has accused the Congress of quietly handing over OBC quota benefits to the Muslims. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge responding, slamming the BJP, asserting that no one can change the constitution, claiming that the Congress has always stood by the constitution and will remain the protector of it.
एक बात यहाँ पर निकली संविधान को बदलने की और चंद सदस्यों ने और खासकर मिनिस्टर रिजिजू जी ने यह मुद्दा उठाया और उसको समर्थन करने में भी हमारे सदन के नेता भी उसको समर्थन करें। मुझे यही कहना है, ऐसी कोई बात कर्नाटक के मिनिस्टर ने नहीं कहा। संविधान बदलने की बात कोई नहीं कहा, कोई नहीं भी कहेगा हमारे तरफ से। अगर कुछ होगा संविधान बदलने की बात जो बार-बार आती है, उधर से आती है।
The Karnataka government has passed a bill granting 4% of reservation to minorities and in public contracts. ये और इसके साथ साथ जो वहां के डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, जिसके बारे में रिजिजू जी ने रेफरेंस दी है, डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर ने स्टेटमेंट दिया है हाउस में कि जरूरत पड़ेगी तो हम संविधान को भी बदलेंगे। दिस इज अ वेरी सीरियस मैटर और ये लोग बड़े संविधान के रक्षक बनते हैं और ये लोग संविधान की रक्षा करने की बात सारे देश को बताते हैं, ढोल पीटते हैं, वो संविधान की धज्जियां उड़ाते हैं। ये इसके लिए हम रोज करते हैं।
All right, a quick word on why this controversy blew up. In fact, in that interview, DK Shivakumar was asked about the Muslim community and why they're being given particularly reservation when no other religion or religious-based reservation has been granted. So why for Muslims alone? So DK Shivakumar responded saying Muslims, according to many surveys, are basically, he tried to suggest that they're dubbed as poor and backward. So this is what he said exactly. Many BJP leaders say Muslims are only fit for fixing tire punctures or selling meat. But it is our duty to uplift every section of society through education, employment, and yes, even economic support. And then went on to speak about the constitution. DK Shivakumar has now tried to clarify, saying that he never said we will change the constitution, blaming the BJP of trying to twist his words.
The Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar said Rajya Sabha has become an uproar because of the statement. Sir, is it changing of the constitution or amendment of the constitution?
I have not said about we are changing constitution or amending constitution. Whatever they are quoting is false, baseless. I am a sensible political leader. I know what is that. They are just trying to make politics out of it. Where I have said I have not gone to the assembly at all.
All right, let me take you through the Nagpur violence crackdown that's now been initiated by the administration there. Bulldozers are in action to teach them a lesson. In a sharp rebuke to the administration's action on bulldozer justice, the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court has now stayed demolition of houses belonging to two accused in the recent Nagpur violence case, calling that action high-handed. The court's order has come after a petition was filed by the accused, Fahim Khan and Yusuf Sheikh, seeking urgent relief from demolition. But by the time the court intervened on Tuesday afternoon, Fahim Khan's two-story home had already been brought down. Demolition at the residence of Yusuf Sheikh was immediately halted following the court's directive. The civic crackdown began after Fahim Khan, alleged mastermind of the Nagpur violence and currently in police custody, failed to act on a 24-hour notice that was given to him to remove the authorities' claim illegal construction. Basically, this man has been arrested, but while in arrest, he received a notice saying in 24 hours you will have to remove the illegal construction from your home, failing which it will be demolished. And that's exactly what happened there. We see bulldozers arriving 24 hours later while the man himself was in police custody in the Nagpur riots case. His family they've also accused of encroaching land. Municipal corporation accuses them of trying to take over some land there, which is illegal. Fahim and Yusuf approached the High Court, arguing that this demolition was retaliatory and without due process. The court stay order now raises questions about the legality and timing of the civic action, especially in the middle of an ongoing criminal probe. All right, a big sigh of relief there for Rhea Chakraborty, who was facing probe in Sushant Singh Rajput's death case. They first made their appearance today. Possibly, Rhea Chakraborty and her family was never seen openly like this with her brother and her family members since Sushant Singh Rajput's death, because the family faced intense scrutiny. This was the first public appearance since then, since the CBI officially closed the investigation in the case and gave a clean sheet to Rhea Chakraborty. The agency has found no evidence of foul play, putting an end to years of speculation in the case. Rhea, her brother Shavik and their father, Lieutenant Colonel Enraged Chakraborty, visited Mumbai's Siddhivinayak temple. That's what we see, the visuals that we showed you initially. That's them early this morning, where they visited the Siddhivinayak temple. In fact, they folded hands before the media there, thanking them for the support. This marks a significant moment for the family, who faced intense scrutiny since Sushant's death in 2020. Remember, back in September 2020, Rhea and Shavik were arrested by the NCB, the Narcotics Control Bureau, in a drug-related case linked to the actor's death. Rhea Chakraborty even spent 27 days in Baikula jail before being granted bail. And now, with the case officially closed, voices from the film industry are demanding accountability from the media. Actress Dia Mirza, for example, has called for a public apology, accusing the media of a witch hunt, saying that this defamed her, so therefore the media should apologize to her. Rhea's lawyer Satish Manishinde has also condemned the media frenzy, saying that lockdown fueled misinformation and that made the ordeal worse for Rhea and family. A quick look into the betting app controversy, with the Telangana government cracking down big on several mega stars. In the latest, more top stars are in the spotlight, facing serious allegations of promoting illegal Chinese betting platform. Hyderabad advocate Rama Rao has now filed a fresh complaint, at this time against superstar Prabhas, Nandamori Balakrishna and Tontempudi Gopichand. The claim here is that they endorsed Fun88, a Chinese betting app allegedly scamming users and funneling money through mule accounts. This comes after earlier complaints against actors like Rana Daggupati, Prakash Raj, Vijay Deverakonda and Ananya Nagalla. They were all in the dock. While some denied any wrongdoing, stating they only promoted legal games, this new case raises fresh concerns about celebrity endorsements of betting platforms. The complaint highlights a potential national security risk there, linking Fun88 to a banned Chinese gaming platform. It calls for the app's immediate ban and legal action under Telangana Gaming Amendment Act 2017 and Section 66FB of the IT Act. The investigation now intensifies. We've got to see if the stars will be let off easy. Let's wait and watch. All right, today a big day for Kerala BJP unit, as Rajiv Chandrasekhar has been declared the new president of the Kerala BJP. It's a big year for him. He's in fact taken over the baton and promises to get the NDA to power in Kerala, which is dominated by the LDF, the UDF, the Congress. The Kerala BJP unit took quite a major step and initiated some significant steps and changes basically that started early this year, including having more Christians being wooed, more youth and women being lured into the party, giving out benefits for the SC, ST and whatnot. So Rajiv Chandrasekhar's induction now comes in right in time when the Kerala BJP unit is looking at making some sweeping changes. The party is looking at Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who's a technocrat turned politician, to uplift the party's prospects. The decision was made just last evening, and today we saw him take over There were 4 other contenders who were in the running of the post. The first was former president of the party, 55-year-old K. Surendran. He's already finished his 5-year term. We hear that he was also eyeing for another term. And there were 3 others. But Rajiv Chandrasekhar seemed to have been the top choice, and he made it through. A unanimous one, it appears, and it was certainly expected. Remember, Rajiv Chandrasekhar stood against Shashi Tharoor in the recently held 2024 parliamentary elections in Thiruvananthapuram. He lost by a narrow margin, 16,077 votes, which was indeed narrow when it comes to Shashi Tharoor's otherwise winning margin. Let's listen in.
This is a significant honor for me. It is something that for somebody like me is a huge opportunity to serve my state. As I said in my speech, when I was given the opportunity to contest in the Lok Sabha, I thought it was my good fortune and it was my pride to have the opportunity to represent Thiruvananthapuram. And now I've been given an opportunity unanimously by all our leaders and all our karyakartas to serve the party, to serve the party and the NDA and take it forward.
All right, a quick look at Yogi Adityanath completing 8 years. In fact, he held a press conference elaborately speaking about UP's report card under him. Here's exactly what he said. Let's hear it.
देश के विकास का एक बैरियर माना जाता है, वही उत्तर प्रदेश देश के विकास का ब्रेक थ्रू बन करके उसको एक नई दिशा देने के लिए हर एक सेक्टर में आगे बढ़ता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। खास तौर पर अगर मैं एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर की ही बात करूं, 2017 के पहले उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर ये क्षेत्र पूरी तरह उपेक्षित था। हम लोगों ने हमेशा इस बात को माना है कि विकास की जो ये अवधारणा है, हमें पहले अपने उन सेक्टर को चिन्हित करना पड़ेगा जिसमें हमारे लिए सबसे आसान और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण संभावना है।
Right, shifting our focus to security in Jammu and Kashmir. Let's take you through the encounter that's currently underway between terrorists and security forces in Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir. The anti-terror operation has entered day 2. Security forces have cordoned off the area. Intense search operation is underway to track down 5 terrorists who are believed to be trapped. The encounter began when security forces launched a search operation in Sanyal village near the international border in Hiranagar sector, following intelligence inputs on the presence of suspected terrorists. Let's have a look on the ground.
इस समय मेरे साथ वो महिला मौजूद हैं जिसने आतंकियों को चकमा दिया और उसके बाद सुरक्षा बलों को ये जानकारी दी कि इस इलाके में आतंकी छुपे हुए हैं। क्या हुआ था?
सर लकड़ियां काटने गए।
कौन कौन?
मैं तो मेरे घर वाला।
ठीक, फिर क्या हुआ?
सर असें थोड़ी लकड़ियां उरे दा कटियां, थोड़ियां इयां कन्ने पास ही साढ़े खेती दे जंगल है।
ठीक है।
ये बोले मैं 2-4 इधर कट लेना। मैं ठीक है।
ठीक है।
सर जियां इन्हें कट्टियां इन्हें मुझे आवाज मारी कि मैं लकड़ियां
थोड़ा हिंदी में बताना। अच्छा फिर क्या हुआ बताइए।
सर फिर इन्होंने लकड़ियां काटियां। ये बोले कि आओ लकड़ी बाहर ही है, बाहर निकालते हैं।
ठीक है।
सर मैं जैसे आगे गई ना तो इनको पकड़ा हुआ था 3 उग्रवादी ने।
3 आतंकी?
हाँ जी, एक ने जहाँ से, 2 ने बाजू पकड़ी हुई।
क्या पहना था उन्होंने?
ये पजामा और जैकेट पिठुए पहने थे।
ये आर्मी जैकेट थी कि नॉर्मल?
आर्मी।
आर्मी थी।
आर्मी कमांडो वाली।
ठीक है, फिर?
सर जैसे मैंने देखा पकड़ा, ये बोल रहे कि भाग जाओ। मेरे को बोला दौड़ जा।
ठीक है। आपको बोला आपके पति ने?
मेरे पति ने। मैंने नहीं सुना भाई इसने क्या बोला दौड़ जा, मैंने सुना ही नहीं। मैं गई देखा पकड़ा, मैंने उनको बोला भैया इनको छोड़ दो, हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे, हम वहाँ चुपचाप चले जाएंगे, आप जो काम करने आए करो वहाँ, इनको छोड़ दो। उन्होंने बोला माँ जी नहीं मारेंगे, आप भी बोला इधर आओ। मैं 2 कदम गई सर। 2 कदम जैसे गई मैं, मेरे घर वाले ने ऐसे किया, मैं इशारा समझ गई कि बोल रहे हैं कि भाग जा।
ठीक है।
मैं सारा दौड़ी, हो मेरे पीछे दौड़ा।
ये टोटल कितने शख्स थे?
ये 5।
फिर आप बाकी और आपने सुरक्षा बलों को बताया?
मेरे पीछे भागा बाकी उधर ही रहे।
फिर आपने सुरक्षा बलों को बता दिया, पुलिस को और गांव में बता
हाँ
दिया?
सर, मैं चिल्ला, मेरे पीछे भागा हो, उसने बोला कि मैं आपको गोली मार दूंगा।
फिर आपके पति कैसे आए?
पति को उसने बोला कि जो औरत शोर मचा रही है ना बाहर, इसको पकड़ के लाओ।
अच्छा,
हम आपको भी कुछ नहीं करेंगे, उसको भी कुछ नहीं करेंगे, सिर्फ यही बोलेंगे कि शोर मत मचाना।
ठीक है।
ये मेरे को पकड़ने आए, जैसे ये मेरे को पकड़ने आए मैंने 2-4 बंदे इकट्ठे कर दिए।
ये बॉर्डर के कितने नजदीक था?
कोई 5 किलोमीटर होगा, 5 किलोमीटर
मतलब नजदीक ही था।
5-3 होगा, मेरे को पता नहीं है सर। 3
लंबी लंबी दाढ़ी वाले थे कि क्लीन शेव?
दाढ़ी वाले, लंबी लंबी
सारे
सारे।
Right, shifting our focus now to mass protests in Turkey. Istanbul's mayor has been jailed, and to show support, there have been scores of people out in the streets. We hear the administration has also arrested several journalists there. Here's a breakdown.
Protesters took to the streets for a fifth night in Istanbul on Sunday after a Turkish court jailed Istanbul mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, pending trial on corruption charges. The court's decision to send İmamoğlu to jail came after the main opposition party, European leaders, and thousands of protesters criticized the actions against him as politicized and undemocratic. İmamoğlu, President Tayyip Erdogan's main political rival, has denied the charges he faces as unimaginable accusations and slander. The government denies that investigations are politically motivated and says courts are independent. The mayor's troubles appear to be galvanizing opposition against Erdogan's government, which has run Turkey for 22 years. Police used pepper spray, tear gas, and water cannons to disperse crowds in what has become the country's biggest protest in more than a decade. Protesters wore masks and used umbrellas and cardboard to shield themselves from police. The same day, nearly 15 million Republican People's Party members and non-members streamed into polling stations nationwide to either elect or endorse İmamoğlu as its candidate in a future presidential vote, the party said. The court said İmamoğlu and at least 20 others were jailed as part of a corruption investigation, one of 2 opened against the 2-term mayor last week.
A quick look at what's happening in Gaza. It seems like Egypt is now stepping in to try and help Gaza out. As per sources, Egypt has put forward a new proposal to restore Gaza ceasefire. The plan suggests Hamas release 5 Israeli hostages each week, while Israel would begin implementing the second phase of the ceasefire within the first week. But even as discussions continue, violence escalates. Israeli airstrikes and ground operations in Gaza have already killed at least 21 Palestinians today. In fact, the offensive has been especially intense in Rafah near the Egyptian border. Since last Tuesday, nearly 700 Palestinians have been killed, including at least 400 women and children, health officials have reported. In fact, Hamas says several of its senior leaders are among the dead.